Tuesday evening, and I have a great show for you guys tonight. I have a wonderful guest with me, and I got a few good topics that I want you guys to chime in on. What's going on with you, man? Man, it's been a hell of a week, but we made it. God damn it, we made it. I have Toy Too Tall with me this evening.
What up, though?
Toy Too Tall. Oh my goodness, I got a great relationship with Toy Too Tall. This is my homegirl. I've been knowing Toy Too Tall for about. She wasn't Toy Too Tall back then. She was just Toy, right?
Yeah.
When she turned into Toy Too Tall, and man, she's definitely earned her respect in the game. She's a comedian, and she is off the hook, man. I never ever would have. If you would have asked me back then, what Toy would have been doing 20 years later, the last thing that I would have said was his comedy. And this girl lights up a stage. She is off the hook. She's very talented. She's very busy.
Oh, thank you.
She's a natural. When I hear Toy Too Tall, it sounds like she's been doing this for years. And the funny thing about it is when we was in high school, you wouldn't hear a peep from her. She was quiet. It's almost like she had the jokes inside of her head or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, she used to amuse herself. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely talked a lot of shit inside my head, or like I'll wait for that one person to be near me and say some shit, and they be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, because you don't say nothing, right? So I want to welcome Toy Too Tall to the show. I have a great show for you tonight. I have a couple good topics that I want to tap in on, and I want you guys to call in 313-355-6018. Please don't be afraid. Call in. Give your point of view. When you hear the topics that I have for tonight, you will want to call in because it's like that. All right? So I want to welcome Toy Too Tall to the show. What's up, girl?
Thank you. What
How you doing?
Though? I'm good. Like, I'm feeling good. We here.
You made it.
I made it.
I made it.
Yeah, we listened. Because I never
ahead.
had perfect attendance in school.
Say that. We pulled up at the same time.
Yes, I'm glad I seen you because I was going to be lost at that gate.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, you made it, my nigga.
I would have climbed it.
So I want you to introduce yourself to the people. Like, introduce yourself to the people and tell you. I could tell them what you do, but it's better coming from you. Okay. What's up?
All right, what up, though, people? I am Toy Too Tall. I'm a comedian. I'm an actress. I'm a talk show host. If you ask, I do it all. I'm definitely a Jane of all trades. I come in and cook for your baby daddy, like, real quick. And I got them elbows like I make good greens, okay? You like weed, I put that in your food, too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got you.
What even got you into comedy?
Actually, my homegirl, Nakira, got me into comedy.
Shout out to Nakira.
Yes, she is a huge comedy lover. We had a food blogging company back in the day, and I'm just sitting around, you know what I'm saying? I'm a cognac queen. I like the Hennessy, you know? So we sitting around sipping and talking, and she like, Toy, you funny as hell. I wasn't even trying to be. I was just talking shit to her. And she like, girl, you ever try to do comedy? And I'm like, no. I've always been into acting.
Okay.
I watched Mad TV and Living Color as a kid, Def Comedy Jam, Beavis and Butthead, all of that. Like, I always really been into, like, sketch comedy, but I never, in my mind, said, I want to do stand-up comedy. It was just always, I'm going to be in front of somebody's camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, you know. But, yeah, she throws events every year, and she put me on her show called Sip Tea and Comedy.
Okay.
She was like, I'm going to give you 3 minutes, but you can't cuss. I was like, what? That's what I like doing.
Right.
Like, what the fuck you mean?
What the fuck you mean?
Cuss.
Right.
But she's like, it's going to be kids and church ladies there. I'm like, all of them cuss. Like, those are 2 main cussers,
right,
in my opinion.
Right.
But, you know what I'm saying? She put me on a show. I got 3 minutes. And actually, on that day, that's when I met Josh Adams. I met
Shout out to Josh Adams.
Yeah, Josh Adams is her headliner that she booked for the show.
Okay.
I met T-Bar, Heather J, and Melanie Hearn.
Okay.
Which all 4 of them are dope as fuck to me.
Say that.
So, you know what I'm saying? It was good to be in their presence. I admired their comedy style. I admire their professionalism. and that like go-getterness that they got. So, you know what I'm saying? It was just, I was bullshitting for a couple years though.
Okay. When you say bullshitting, what do you mean?
When you're a new comedian and you say you really want to do comedy, like the best thing you could do is like hit the mics. Like get on the mic.
You say get on the mic.
Get on the mic. Don't bullshit with it. Oh, I'm gonna go here this month and I'm gonna go there next month. Why you waiting a whole month? Like I did that, but then after that it was like the pandemic hit us.
Okay.
So it's like I didn't get that full like hit the ground running like most comedians.
So you started around like 2019?
Yeah, actually May 5th, 2019.
You remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, go to Maya. I was drunk as hell that day.
Okay.
I was.
What was that like?
Being drunk?
No.
Oh.
You so goddamn crazy. What am I gonna do with this girl? I gotta sit with her. What am I gonna? No, hitting the stage for the first time and like just getting that experience. What was that like?
I was nervous as hell.
Okay.
Like I didn't know what to talk about. Like I remember one joke. I was talking about my friend's daughter. And she a whole vibe, little Nova. Like she a big kid now, but like I did a joke on her. The other jokes probably was so bad, that's why I don't remember them. But that was the longest 3 minutes of my life.
For real.
But I liked it so much, I wanted to do it again. This is the crazy thing. A lot of comedians don't get to do this. What was that? May of 2019? By September of 2019,
okay,
I hosted an Amazon special.
Praise God. Look at that.
Look at God. Because that wasn't nothing but God and family with that, okay?
How did you get that? Like,
okay, so how this happened, I was working in my cousin's studio. And they wanted to do a comedy special. And I wanted to learn production and just media, entertainment, all that. I wanted to learn anything I could, right? Mm-hmm. And they were casting for a comedy special, and they're like, we need a female comedian. I was like, well, I'm not that bitch, not right now. I was like, but I met somebody, and I was like, this girl cool as hell. I was like, she looked like Keisha Cole and everything. She funny as fuck. It was T-Barb. And, she got on, it was the Getting Off Comedy Special, season 1.
Okay.
It was T-Barb, Fago Red, Marcus Olin, J-Boy, and Tattoo Man Page.
Okay.
And at the time, they were searching. I was just on the production side. They were looking for a host. When I tell y'all, every host that they had kept flopping. I ain't gonna do it. No, I'm good. Boo, boo, boo. So I ain't gonna name no names. Mm-hmm. But every time somebody dropped, I was like, hey, I'm here. Like, let me do it. Like, I just felt like I could host. Mm-hmm. Crazy thing is, now that is my favorite thing to do with comedy.
Really?
I love hosting.
Okay.
I ain't gotta be a headliner. I ain't gotta be a feature. Let me host that bitch. Like, that's what I want to do. I love hosting.
I notice with a host, whenever I go to a comedy show, the host not only it sets the tone, right? Mm-hmm. But not only are they able to add their flair of comedy to it, but they also can bring people on, sit back, and then once that comic is done with their set, they can come back on, give a little flair of comedy, get out the way.
Yes.
So you still kind of doing your thing, right?
Yeah. Okay. That's what I like about it. So usually, like when you host an average comedy show, depending on who the producer or the booker is, they may say, hey, I want you to do 5, 10, or 15 minutes.
Okay.
It's never over 15 minutes though. So 5, 10, or 15. Do your thing, and then your job. The biggest thing about being a host of a comedy show is the show ain't about you. That's where a lot of hosts get it fucked up. The show ain't about you. Like, it's about the other comedians on the show. Your job is to keep the energy going from that next comedian. Okay. So like, say for instance, I'll do my thing, and then I introduce the next comedian, the first comedian, then the next comedian, then the next comedian. My thing that I like to do is I actually sit back and I listen to those comedians. If they got a joke that the audience like really love, I may come out and alley-oop they shit like, that's you funny as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Just something to boost them up. Give it up for whoop doop whoop. I could hate you, and I'm gonna give you the best fucking intro and alley-oop ever, because at the end of the day, this is my job.
Come on now.
I got a job to do. I'm very professional, so I love hosting. And then you get to come back on stage. Hey, it's me again.
I will ask you, because I know every comedian has their different format. Mm-hmm. But how did you come up with material? Like what's your Well, you're not going to give your format because your format is your format. Mm-hmm. But just in general, like
how the jokes come to my mind.
Yeah.
Life, to be honest, the more experiences that I have, I notice the more bullshit that I go through. I was like, ooh, hello, lemonade. You know what I'm saying? Out of those lemons, sometimes it comes from that, unfortunately. Like, sometimes comedians have been through the most bullshit.
Okay.
We laugh at our pain. Like, you know, a comedian could have a major death in the family and get on that stage and make somebody laugh when they crying and they're sad. You know what I'm saying? We can make we can take laughter out of any bad situation. All comedians need therapy. But with me, I like to just tell my story. Like that's what I like to do best. I like to tell my story. I do a lot of self jokes, you know, just going through, because most comedians, like when they start off and they they trying to like find their voice.
Okay.
You know, some start off hitting the ground running, they killing shit, and then there's some, you know, they really trying to find themselves. I do feel like I went through a find myself stage. Like, all right, I got to get vulnerable and not care what I tell these people about me. Because 9 times out of 10, it's about 20 people in that audience that have been through the same thing. They want to hear it, relate to it, and laugh about it.
Say that.
Yeah, Kevin Hart did it the best to me, laugh at my pain. Yeah.
So you said every comedian goes through their find yourself stage.
Yeah.
What is it like when you tell people that I'm a comedian?
Oh, you know what I hate the most?
What is your response like when you tell people, like, you know, I'm a professional comedian, right?
Mm-hmm. They be like, oh, you funny? I be like, motherfucker, I just said I'm a comedian.
Right.
Or either they'll be like, oh, tell me a joke. Like, and then so, like, I don't be wanting to hold
people do that? People ask you to tell them a joke on the spot? Like, you supposed to just come up with a joke?
Tell me a joke. Like, if I was a stripper, you ain't gonna say, hey, make it clap for me. You know, depending on the situation, you might. But, you know what I'm saying? But to be like, oh, tell me a joke. And, like, you know what I'm saying? You got the dread hood and you do the locks and stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You tell somebody that you a loctician, they gonna be like, oh, lock my lock right now. Like, ain't it weird?
Right, nigga, make an appointment. Right. God damn it. What are you talking about?
That's why I be like, come to a show.
Right.
There are some comedians that tell a joke on spot. You know, they got their quick one-liners. They got this, that, and the other. But I ain't even gonna lie. It's a thin line between being a comedian and a gesture. And I'm not that. Like, what if I'm in a bad mood? I don't feel like it. Comedy is a vibe as well. You know what I'm saying? I could be in a bad mood and get on that stage and do my thing. But that's the stage, that's the audience, that's that adrenaline rush for me. You know what I'm saying? You just standing here smelling like pee telling me to tell you a joke. Like, I don't even know you, sir. Can you buy a ticket?
Can you buy a ticket? Who do you want to work with? Like, who do you want to work with and share a stage with that you haven't yet? And they can be big or small. It doesn't matter.
It's so many people. Oh,
give me your top 2. Who you think of off top? Yeah.
Ooh, I would love to open up for Gary Owens.
Okay.
I like him. He's very funny. I like diverse crowds. Mm-hmm. And Joe Coy, Guy Torrey, Melanie Camacho. I know you said 2, but how can I just name 2?
So let me ask you this, because you're naming more than one. So not only are you a comedian and you're invested into the community, mm-hmm. you are familiar with a lot of comedians. So that means that you watch a lot of shows, right? No,
not necessarily. Okay. So I've seen shows here and there. Because sometimes, like, when I'm at a comedy show, and I'm like, oh, you know, it's like sometimes you do get a little tired, but you want to be supportive of your coworkers. That's mm-hmm. what I call them. But I can't sit. I can't remember the last time I sat through a full. Like, I'll give you an example. I was in Atlanta this weekend.
Okay.
Kenan Thompson had it. I would let it open for him. Shoot. Like, but Kenan Thompson had a audition. And I sat through my whole show. I tried to make it through the entire second show. I probably left, and it was like 4 more comedians left. I was like, I'm sleepy. Like, you know, so it's kind of like you after a while, and they were all good. There ain't no diss to them or nothing like that. But you get tired. You get tired. Like, can you sit through a 2-hour comedy show? Like, and this is why comedy shows are only like usually an hour and a half or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I can't say I watch a lot of comedy specials. I got some favorites though.
Okay.
But they older. Like this is before I even started comedy. Like Run Till That. Martin Lawrence Run Till That. It's one of my favorites. And Jamie Foxx, I Might Need Security. Oh my God.
He said, "How you going, huh?" Do you tap into like Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Chris Rock?
Mm-hmm. Eddie Murphy. Okay, Eddie Murphy. Me and my brother used to sneak and watch Delirious and Raw as kids. I did a joke. I didn't. Now this is a big thing with comedians and stealing jokes and stuff. I didn't steal his joke, but I did one of his gestures unknowingly. I hadn't seen Eddie Murphy Raw since I was a little girl, sneaking watching it with my brother. And it was this one joke I had about biscuits and the shaper and the shit being too tight and popping open like Pillsbury and shit. Right? When I did the joke, I did the gesture like hands out. I seen Raw probably about a year ago. One of my friends at the time had played it, and I was like, "What's that Raw list?" Can't remember. Anyway, he did it. I was like, "Oh my God!" But I got a little parody rap too, and I'd be like, "My set's like Eddie Murphy on Delirious," and you know. But that was so funny, like to me. I enjoyed watching it. I could watch it again right now, like it's brand new. And then like Richard Pryor, I love Richard Pryor. He cussed so much though, but I cuss a lot too. So it's like,
he's a legend.
Yes, as a woman though, like you know, so you can't really move like a man. So I did have to tone down my cussing, and certain jokes. Women can't do the same, can't move like a man. To be honest,
really.
Like, I mean, that's in life and comedy though. A woman can't move
even
like
in
a man.
comedy. Because when I think about comedy, I think about. When I think about comedy, professional comedy, I think of people being able to come outside themselves and certain things being acceptable that they wouldn't be acceptable in our reality, right? So what do you really mean by that? Because I think about some more. I think about Monique. And,
these are women who already made it though.
Okay.
These women who already made it, but even at the end, I use Monique as an example. Monique get ridiculed like a motherfucker. Like, oh, soon you do some shit. Like, you know what happened at the Fox with her and DL and everything, right? Oh, she emotional. She a woman, blah, blah, blah. You know, she in her feelings. You know what I'm saying? I done seen dudes do that and they don't do that. They, you know what I'm saying? That's a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to get into the politics of that. But what I will say is that as a woman in any entertainment industry, which comedy is what I'm in right now, I can't move exactly like a man. Like, I'm very mindful of what I say to other men because it's a male-dominated industry. Okay. I'm very careful of how I conduct myself on and off that stage. Okay. Like, even the sexualized jokes, I got them, and I could go there all day. But the first thing they'll say is, "Oh, that's all women talk about is dick," like, or bashing dudes. You know what I'm saying? So I honestly, I'm not a man basher anyway, so I don't have a lot of jokes about that. But there are those crowds that like that, so you got to have some in the chamber. You know what I'm saying? But the goal is to have more substance to my material, and I felt like as a woman, I did have to work harder on that because soon I could tell some material with some substance, and I got one dick joke, and that one guy be like, "Oh yeah, she's nasty," and I'm like, "Bitch, shut up! That's not even what the you know what I'm saying?" Like, so you have to be careful with that, conducting yourself on and off stage, meaning. When you get off stage, sometimes you may have had a joke, or just sometimes if you're a pretty female, some dudes will come to you and say some stuff. Like, you really have to be mindful of how you conduct yourselves. You got to choose you networking, flirting, or both. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes a little flirting get you that network. You know what I'm saying? Keep hope alive, nigga. Like, but it's a level of professionalism there, and I pride myself on the professionalism. To be honest, like. That's my biggest thing. Nobody, I feel like, can ever say Toy's not professional. Like, oh, she ain't about her business. Like, I ain't on no fugazi shit, you know.
You in a comedy, but you still make sure that you keep it pimping. You keep it professional. Yeah. You about your business. It's a business.
Definitely.
Right?
Show
and you
business.
still have to maintain that level.
Yes.
That's amazing, and I respect that. I want to ask you, what is your most memorable moment on stage, if you have one, that you experienced? Whether it was a joke or the location or the crowd.
There's a couple. I remember getting my first big laugh.
Okay, talk about that.
That felt good. I can't even remember what joke I did, but I remember it was like, ah! Like, you know, so you want to get that big roar.
Okay.
So that felt good. I haven't got to stand at O yet, yet. I will one day. I had my first bomb. That was memorable. I remember Stretch Money was there. He was like, yeah, get her off the stage. I was like, boy, fuck you and your tooth. Like, yeah. He was like, no hard feelings after I get off stage. But I honestly, like, I did let the jitters get the best of me. It was an Apollo-style show, too. You know what I'm saying? That was memorable, but it wasn't a good memory. But, you know, I had people even come to me afterwards, and they was like, you did good. I don't know what happened. I think somebody in the audience didn't like you. Like, you know, it is what it is. But not to say they wasn't saying it was Stretch, but, you know, he was the Sandman for the show. So
how do you handle that type of stuff? Because
you take it on the chin.
Well, yeah, you know,
and get back on that stage.
But being in front of a large group of people who you don't know, and this is why I value people who do your line of work so much, because you stand on the stage with the light on you in front of a bunch of people, and you give it all you got. Some things is funny, some things is not funny, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I admire about comedians is the ones who can get it together. Like, if you on the stage and you tell a joke and it's not funny, and you sitting there with the light on you, and you're looking at your audience and nobody is laughing, maybe like one or two people is laughing, you don't get paranoid, disturbed, or you don't feel any kind of way.
A good comedian doesn't.
Can get it together real quick.
Yeah.
Bounce back with something else that and everybody be like, oh shit, like, man, this thing is funny, you know what I'm saying? But I can only imagine what it's like for some people who do that and just kind of lose themselves, and it's like, oh my God, like, maybe I should leave the stage right now. You know what I'm saying?
My advice to any comedian is felt that way. Okay, so I'll say this first. All comedians bomb. I don't care how seasoned they are or how new they are. They have all bombed before. In the past and present. When you get to that vet status and you higher up there, of course you're not going to bomb as often. But a vet know when they bombing. Like, you might get more laughs than me, but you know what you normally do. You feel me? And the thing is, if a comedian say they never bomb, they're lying. They're lying. All comedians that had that off moment, that delivery wasn't right, that timing wasn't right, I should say this, that, or that, and it's okay. The biggest advice I can give is, even if you do bad, get your punk ass back up on another stage and do it again. Like,
say that. Say that.
That's all you gotta do.
People need to hear that.
I got booed for the first time. Some people like, nah, everybody ain't been booed before. But again, this was an Apollo-style show. We in Detroit. If you get an option to boo, it's going to be there. And I froze. And I know what I did wrong. I did freeze. I know where I fucked up. It wasn't a joke. I was like, one of them dumb moments. Deer in the headlights. I had a moment. And I seen the person when they stood. It was like, no, like, and it was a comedian too.
For real?
Yeah, I ain't gonna say that bitch name, but yeah, it was a comedian. Can I cuss on here? Oops, my bad.
He weak for that because
it was
you would think that you guys would support each other even if you don't tell a good joke.
It's
or
a
even
doggy dog type of. Okay, so with comedy, it's camaraderie. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm going to talk about my cousin, but you better not or I'll fuck you up. Like, it's kind of like that with comedy. That's the best way I can explain it.
Let me give our ID real quick, Toy. You are watching Put You On Radio live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Please like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching Put You On Radio on Wjzz Cool TV. The coolest station in the world. We are here with Toy Too Tall, a very funny comedian. She is seasoned. She's been doing this for a while, and she just here giving us some game on her experience as a comedian. And if you are interested in being a comedian, I feel like a lot of what we're talking about, you can use, will be useful to you in moving forward. My experience in being in front of large crowds, I'm not good with. I never even said this to people, but I remember doing my times of being a rapper when I was like 17, 18. I was trying to be a rapper. A lot of my homeboys was rapping, and I remember I had wrote a song. I had wrote a song to a beat, and I thought it was really, really good. I got on the stage, and I forgot the lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
I started off strong, And I was
in
in
the middle part, wasn't it?
Oh my goodness, it was in the middle part. I remember being in front of I had people looking at me, and I had a cameraman here recording the show, and my homeboys was over there, and I had built up the confidence to actually go up there and do my thing because my homeboys didn't know that I wanted to rap, and I really wanted to rap, but I was just trying to find my way. And it's funny that you say that because Stretch Money was at the show. Right, you mentioned him. Right, he was at the show.
Shout out to Stretch Money though. He ain't bad. Look, I'm just talking shit.
And I had got on the stage, man. I started doing my thing, and I was so serious with it. And then when I had got into the middle of my verse, I just forgot.
Yep.
And I froze up.
Stretch Money jinxed us.
And I just had the and you know what? I was so embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? And I had to walk away from the mic. You know, and I feel like if I would have, like you were saying, get your bitch ass up and go back out there and do your thing. You know what I'm saying? You fucked up this time, and I didn't have that. You know, and some people have it, some people don't. You know, that's just one of my personal experiences with entertaining and being in front of a crowd. That's when I realized that being a rapper was for me. I realized being a rapper was not for me, but
I got a couple bars in me too.
Yeah, you're talented. You're multi-talented, right? And I think to myself sometimes, like I even thought about getting into stand-up comedy because I had so many crazy ideas and thoughts that come to my head that I want to share with people. But that fear and that memory, it always comes back. Like, man, remember that one time, man, you was on that stage at the Bullfrog. It was at the Bullfrog on Telegraph. Oh my goodness!
Shout out to the Bullfrog.
Shout out to the Bullfrog, man. A lot of local artists that's doing well for themselves came out of the Bullfrog. You know, definitely. So listen, guys, give us a call 313-355-6018 if you want to say something to Toy Too Tall or you want to comment on your own personal experience with being on the stage and either whether you're bombed or it worked for you, or even if you're still active. It could be rapping, it could be comedy, it could be stage play, whatever you're into. We would love to hear from you. I'm gonna have a few more questions for Toy Too Tall, and we're gonna let her go. I want to ask you, how do you handle hecklers? Because I've been at shows and I've seen drunk hecklers. I done seen people get put out. I done seen fights. I done seen comedians really break a nigga down in front of his girl. He drunk, lost his mind, right? He want to stand up and try to embarrass you, but he end up getting embarrassed. What is it like for a comedian that gets somebody that want to stand up and try to bring you down and tear you down while you on your set?
So the most skilled type of comedian, in my opinion, is the one that can shut a heckler up. Okay. It should never turn violent, but you can't sometimes control other people's emotions. I've had a drunk heckler before, and it was so weird. It was my first heckler experience. Okay. And
what was that like?
I'm in Highland Park. This is a show just before I was about to go to Vegas, and this is like my I'm in a year and a half or maybe 2 years now, tops. And when I went on stage, she was drunk. You could tell.
It was a female.
Yes. And I got on stage. She's like, "Oh, she cute. Hey." Bitch, flicked her tongue at me and everything. You know what I'm saying? I was there doing my thing. Hey, girl. Right. Hey.
Did you try to ignore her at first?
I acknowledged her. I said, "Hey," you know what I'm saying? You turned, and then went into my set or whatever. Right. But then I'm going, but she's loud because she hopping from table to table, talking. People just fucking with folks. Now, it was kind of distracting me. I'm newer, you know what I'm saying? So, and somebody, I guess they peeped that, but she had been doing this throughout the entire show, to be honest. But somebody tapped her and was like, "Hey, chill out," you know what I'm saying? You interrupting the show. And the worst thing a comedian ever wants to hear is, "That ain't even funny." So the chick said that. And I was like, "Hold on, bitch." It came out of me. Okay. I was newer there, and my thing is I never try to disrespect or belittle an audience member. They came out to laugh. I don't want to make nobody feel bad. You know what I'm saying? But she got to talking shit and stuff, and what made her mad is that cause she was like, "I beat you." It ended up saying, she was like, "Bitch, what I beat your ass?"
So she went there.
Yeah, and I was like, "Damn, girl, you went from wanting to fuck me to fight me. What's the problem?"
Right.
And when I said that, the audience roared, and she was so mad, and she, hey, you know, that neck got to going and stuff, and the security was like, all right, we gonna put her out, whoop de whoop. And I was like, just calm her down, don't put her out. I knew she was drunk though, you know what I'm saying? I didn't feel threatened or nothing like that. So I told him like, I ain't gotta put her out, just tell her to shut the fuck up, you know?
Period.
And that's just that. I've had the happy heckler before, and they just want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Heckling is heckling. They just want to talk to you, though. They ain't trying to they don't even realize they interrupt.
They just want the attention.
Yeah. So sometimes you can politely be like, all right, your time's up. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they may calm down. I've never had somebody like even a drunk girl. She was drunk. I didn't consider her angry. You know, if she would have met me in the parking lot, I wasn't worried. But so I haven't had that angry person, but I don't get that from people.
Let me ask you this. When you're at an event, when you at one of your shows, do a comedian have a certain time when they go on? What I mean by that is this right here. A lot of times I've been at shows at bars where they allow the promoters in the club will allow they'll try to get as many people in the club as possible before they allow you to go on. You can have an audience, right? But what that means is 9 times out of 10, people sitting there drinking, they waiting.
I figured the drunk the better.
For real?
Yeah, I like my audience a little sleaze.
Okay.
Just long as you ain't like, but it's a difference between a bar. It depends on where we at too, because like we doing comedy at a bar. I'm not a big fan of bar crowds.
Okay.
I like comedy clubs and theaters. Like I want to perform for people who come in there to hear comedy and, you know, maybe turn up later. But if you trying to hustle and dance and shoot pool while I'm doing my thing, it's like it's disruptive.
It's disruptive for sure.
I ain't trying to fight like that.
Well, I want you to give our viewers your information. Where can they find you on social media? What's your next event that you got coming up? And how can they get in contact with you?
All right. Well, you can find me on all social media. If you even Google Toy Too Tall, it's TOITOOTALL. But on Instagram, I am TOI_TOOTALL, Toy Too Tall. And that's, you know, on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, OnlyFans. Like I ain't on OnlyFans.
You ain't on. Don't log on.
Okay. I do have an OnlyFans, but it's not active, and I'm not naked on there. I'm not.
They gonna be looking for your fine ass on OnlyFans.
I am not. I don't know. I think I drew my eyebrows crooked on today though, so they be like, she might not be like. They might be like, you know, she ain't that fine today. But yeah.
Well, listen, I am thankful for having you.
And I'm gonna be at Punchline tonight. 9:00 every Tuesday.
I might pop out.
The fan. Yeah.
Punchline comedy. I've never been there.
Yeah, Punchline is cool. It's an open mic. Get on stage.
No.
Okay, well just come through.
No.
Then I don't want to discourage you from
about
coming.
A bomb? Oh my God, I ain't got nothing to talk about. But you know what? I will come see you though.
Thank you.
All right. I want to thank Toy Too Tall for stopping in. It's been a wonderful interview. As a matter of fact, I called her last minute. You know, my last guest bombed on me, and I needed to get somebody in tonight, and I was looking around, and I knew that if I reached out to her, I knew that if she couldn't come, she would do the best she could to make it happen.
Yes, my hair ain't even done.
I said, Toy, this is Deshaun. I said, I need you. She said, I got you. Send me the information. I'll be there. So I want to thank you. I have about 20, 25 more minutes. I want to get my picture.
Okay.
So
what time is it?
It's 7:35. So you're more than welcome to sit in for the rest of the show. If not, you can step out the side of the studio, get on your phone or whatever it is you got to do to prepare for tonight's show. But I will gracefully ask you to just give me a minute to knock out the rest of my show, and then I got to get my picture.
I can sit there with you. It's cool.
All right.
Cool.
I actually have a topic that you might want to comment on, and I'm going to go into that. I want to get my station ID first. You are watching Put You On Radio, live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Please like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching Put You On Radio on WJZZ, the coolest station in the world. And I am here with a very, very special guest, Toy Too Tall. We're going to have her give her information before she get out of here. But I do want to continue with the rest of my show. And I thought about this topic yesterday, and I heard it on Instagram. These people were sitting on they were on a stage, and there was a few females and a few males, and they have like Q&A, male female battle with the sexes conversations.
Okay.
And one guy asked a female, he asked her about blocking your spouse on social media. Do you think it's cool to block your spouse on social media? Should they be a part of what you got going on? Does it mean that they got other things going on that they don't want you to see? One female stood up and said that, well, she didn't stand up, but one of the females on the platform says that she wants her relationship to be private. She said that she feels like other females will see how much her man loves her, and then they would try to sneaky link her man. You know, I got my opinion that I will give, but since I do have my guest here, I'm going to ask her how would she feel about having her spouse follow her on social media. That means commenting on certain things. That means making himself known to not only the public, but letting himself be known that this is my woman. You know what I'm saying? I love her, because us as men, I don't know about other men, but I'm kind of like protective. I'm loving. I love out loud, right? So I don't mind saying that I love you out loud, whether it's through public, social media, or whatever.
That's the other LOL.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So how do you feel about that? Are you okay with that?
Yes. As long as it's something solid.
Okay.
Like you said, spouse, not dating, someone you dating, or a boyfriend.
Well, either or.
It's levels to it. It's levels to it. A spouse, like we're husband and wife. Fuck these people. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not worried about, like, if I'm somebody's wife, my last concern is another bitch. I'm sorry, another female, another woman.
That. Say how
I can cuss on here?
Okay,
yes, like, that's my last concern. Because if that is a concern, then that means I don't trust my husband. That means, like, we got some stuff we need to talk about or work out. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I should know my man is going to shut that shit down. Now, if we're in, let's talk relationship, just boyfriend, girlfriend. I know it sounds childish, but that's my man, I'm his woman. I feel like if we solid, I'm not the hidden type. Like, only time I'm going to be in the shadows is if I'm not sure what we're doing. I'm not sure if that foundation is solid. That's the only time any shadow work is being done, you know.
Right.
Other than that, we out here. Now, I'm not saying there's not going to be, because I'm big on privacy. There's not going to be an issue where I'm like, oh, I'm mad at him and I'm talking about him online and stuff like that. And I know that's hard for some people to try to avoid and do, but that's the biggest thing you want to. But we're human and shit happens. You don't have to tell every move, but every stat ain't about to necessarily be about him either.
Right.
I think any man that dates me and really takes me serious does have to understand what I do. I'm going to have quote unquote fans.
Right.
People are going to flirt, but fuck them. Like, how am I reacting to them? I'm a very transparent, open person, so I would not hide anything from my mate. My biggest goal is to make them feel comfortable and confident in me. So it's like you can't expose yourself to the world unless your foundation is solid.
Do you feel like if somebody decided to, like, I don't want to say hide their spouse, mate, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, but choose to not acknowledge their person, social media, do you think it could be like something else going on that they don't want them to see, or they're embarrassed, like they're embarrassed of the person that they with, or they don't want other people to see them? Like, could that be it? Like, what kind of excuse could you give your mate?
There's levels to it, because so I'll never block my mate on social media. We're either not following each other or we are. Okay. But I'm never going to block you, and all of my pages are open. I don't have to post pictures. I may or I may not, but I know there's some people that don't, right? If that person doesn't post pictures, that's fine. But I'm one of those people who I'm like, I just want y'all to I just woke up today and want y'all to let y'all know I love my man. I may post some stuff like that or something like that. That's me still acknowledging him, and I'm not hiding him. I don't have to take pictures of us laying in bed and kissing and all that extra stuff. Like, that's extra to me. I ain't trying to prove.
That's extremely private too, though, right?
Yeah, that is very private. Like, that's our intimate setting. Like, I ain't gotta post all of that, and I ain't trying to prove nothing to these people out here in the world. I do feel like that it's very situational with people who like, if I'm kicking it with a dude for real, and he blocks me on social media, and always putting up thirst trappy type things, and like he a regular Joe at that, even if he's somewhere out here, like, what are you doing? Like, to block me, what are you blocking me for? Like, that's gonna raise the antennas. I don't want to automatically say something is happening, but Inspector Gadget is coming out the closet in this motherfucking eye at this point. Boy, what you doing? Like, I can find your social security number. Like, quit playing with me. Like, I'm a woman. Like, I'm a very investigative.
Well, listen, don't block your spouse. If you with somebody,
don't block them.
Don't block your spouse. If you with somebody and you're in a relationship and you love them, I feel there shouldn't be anything that you should be hiding. You shouldn't make your spouse feel like it's something that you don't want them to see. It's something that you're hiding. I feel like you shouldn't have that double life. You shouldn't have a social media life. And we old school, right? This is some new shit for us. Still, right? Even though social media been around as long as it's been around, I've noticed that over the years through Facebook and Instagram, a lot of people is a certain person through social media that they're not in real life.
And that's sad.
And if they have somebody that they love, right, they want to hide that person that they are through social media versus the person that they are at work versus the person that they are with them. You know what I'm saying? And it's just about being real. You know what I'm saying? It's about being okay with being real. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about that. If you have an opinion, we don't have much time left. Please give us a call at 313-355-6018. It's your boy, Sean Don. I'm here with Toy Too Tall.
What up, though?
I'm having a good time. Are you having a good time?
Yes, I'm having a great time.
It's up. This is it. Listen, guys, I'm going to go into my sports segment, and then we're going to go into your Boss Your Life Up segment, then we're going to get out of here. I did some research on young athletes who had went into cardiac arrest due to we don't know what, but I remember when I was a young man that played sports, it was very uncommon for young athletes, my teammates or friends, to fall out on the basketball court, a football field, or a baseball field because the coach or the game we're working really, really hard. Well, within the last 4 or 5 years, since COVID popped off and these vaccines popped off, to actually play sports, you had to get vaccinated. Well, after the vaccination, we've done seen a number of young athletes, young, healthy men, black, white, it doesn't matter, who's went into cardiac arrest, fell out, or even died for that matter, just playing sports. And I want to ask you, do you feel like is COVID vaccine related? Do you feel like genetically things have changed with the human species? Like, what's really going on? I asked this because there's a new variant of COVID that's been out. I'm noticing more people are wearing masks these days. I'm noticing the COVID is really, the rate is going back up again. You may not know. It may not have went public through news again, but please believe that there is another variant of COVID that's popped out.
You got to check them charts.
You got to get yourself together. You got to keep yourself together. But what do you think? Because when I was a young man, we did everything from drink off the side of the house to doing flips with no shoes on, no socks on.
That's why we healthy. That water hose water got us together.
That water hose water got us together.
A couple spiders,
Mama won't let you in the
water
house.
bugs.
Mama won't let you in the house when you said I'm thirsty. You had to do what? Go to the side of the house to get you some water, right?
These kids ain't no ladybugs. They ain't healthy.
They don't know nothing about it, right? So what do you think? If you don't get the opportunity to call in on the show, please comment on our page. Just let me know how you feel. But this is a thing. I want to ask Toy Too Tall her opinion. Sweetheart, what do you think?
I think it's a multiple variants, to be honest. Like, COVID is definitely a factor with people's health and their breathing and, you know, the overall health. Like, that is definitely a factor, right? But at the same time, these coaches, when I tell you, when it's a game on the line, they don't care about these students' health.
Come on.
Like, motherfuckers will go buy some perk 10s from someone on the corner to get they quarterback to play if they injured, okay? They will go and let's say it's an asthmatic player on the team. And they ain't got the inhaler. I bet you that coach find an inhaler quicker than the doctor will. Okay, these coaches will go to the extreme to, we gotta win this game. We gotta do this. Like, if you're an athlete, you know what's up. I ain't even an athlete, and I know this. You know what I'm saying? Like, these coaches will definitely go to the extreme. So we're not gonna take out the fact that they are definitely a factor in that. They care about your health long as you can win the game. COVID is definitely a factor, and in that vaccine, we don't know what people don't know what they put in their body. We don't know the effects. It's a lot of medicine and drugs out here. 10 years later, oh, by the way, this is how you fucked up. Like, I was just on the way here listening to the radio, and they like, if you use the relaxer, you may have ovarian cancer. You know how many bitches out here that have relaxers?
Since
like,
the 60s,
you know
50s, and the 60s.
I'm trying to get in on that lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get no edges now because of them. But you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you never know. You know what I'm saying? It's all a factor. Even the food that we eat to this day that ain't real. But okay, it be good. But if it tastes good, it probably ain't real. Like, you know, the food, we got seedless fruit. How? GMOs. Like, all of that. It's playing a factor. It's not enough food to feed this world right now. It's not. And it's all a factor in our health these days. We are slowly dying off. That's just my opinion.
You know, it's funny because it made me think about LeBron James' son. It made me think about Shaquille O'Neal's son. Shaquille O'Neal's son had open heart surgery.
Wow, so
young. You know, so young. And then LeBron James' son, he hit the floor. You know, he passed out on the floor. He had a cardiovascular issue. He plays for USC. And the first thing I thought about was how hard they overwork these kids.
And leave them vapes alone.
Like, leave them vapes alone.
Leave them vapes alone.
Them goddamn breezes.
Yeah.
People stop going to the gas station buying them breezes. The shit is killing us.
Yeah.
They got 1,000,001 flavors for you. Stop buying them. I won't.
You got 31 flavors of death.
31 flavors of death in the gas station. Hey. You got cigarettes over here. You got blunts down here. Then you got the breeze right here. All in one goddamn gas station. You got death in the gas station, right? So, you know, man, it's tough. You know, we have to see where we're going, but that is something that stood out to me.
Yeah.
Again, comment on our platform, on Twitter, Twitch, or Facebook. I would love to hear from you. If you couldn't call in tonight, we are going to get into our Boss Your Life Up segment. And Toy,
yeah. That sounds fun.
In my Boss Your Life Up segment, what I do at the end of every show is I try to give a warm, something positive to my viewers on how they can be better. I definitely learned something from you as far as being an entertainer and being on stage. If I ever decide to go into that, you know, going into that lifestyle or career choice. But if you can give the viewers something, and you can even use your line of work, whether it's an opportunity, something you heard, whether it's something in your line of field, anything that could just make people be better, to want to be better, you know, that they can start today, what would it be?
Don't give up. Don't give up. The only time you miss an opportunity is when you don't take one either. Like, you never know what could be or what door or what person is there. You have to take that chance. If you're a performer, don't never not perform and be like, oh, ain't nobody in there. You don't know. It's that one person that could be in there to open that door for you. You never know. Take every chance you get. That is different from being an opportunist. I'm not saying being an opportunist, but take the opportunity. Take that chance. Push through. When you tired and don't want to do it, that's the perfect time to do it. You got to.
All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm not going to give my Boss Your Life 07. I think that was enough. Toy Too Tall, I want to thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank you guys for watching. And I will see you next week for another great episode of Put You On Radio. You guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon.
Peace out.
Bow. My dog.
That was dope. Thank you. I had so much fun.